Selamat datang, namaste, hi, hello, how are you? All our dear friends and fans of Indian culture. Cultural Sutra. Today, we are going to know something more, interact, chat, and talk to a multi-talented personality. She's a poetess, she's a dancer, she's a choreographer, she's a show presenter, an anchor. The list goes on and on and on. Putri Minangsari, how are you?
Very good, sir. Namaskar.
Namaste, namaste. How are you spending your time? Tatap sehat, tatap rumah, if I'm not wrong.
Staying safe, staying at home, tetap sehat, tetap di rumah. That's all we can do at this time of Corona.
Yes,
I hope everybody is healthy too at GNICC, yourself included and your family.
Fine and fit and healthy. Maintaining all the social distancing norms, keeping the cultural sutra alive. First question that I want to ask for all our fans and friends is, tell me something about your background. Where did you grow up?
Okay, my name is Putri Minangsari. That's my full name. So I'm Balinese, and for the Balinese, the name Ketut that I have means that I'm child number 4. So I'm the 4th daughter of my parents, and as Balinese, unfortunately because of my dad's posting all over Indonesia growing up, we never live in Bali, so I'm a Balinese that has never lived in Bali. I feel like I'm very much not only truly Balinese but also truly Indonesian because I was born in West Sumatra, in Padang, the capital city of West Sumatra, and then all of my sisters, older sisters, were born in different cities. And also my maternal grandmother is Javanese, so I considered myself Indonesian, very much so.
So you are an exception while the entire world wants to come to Bali. You, though being Balinese, have not got the chance to spend much time in Bali. That's unique.
It's just so that I never live in Bali, but that doesn't mean that I don't spend time in Bali. I try to go at least twice every year to my home island.
Tell us more about your fascination and your first encounter with the world of beats, emotions, rhythm, movements, also known as dance. When did you first felt the need to become a dancer?
Well, I think as a Balinese dancer, I owe it to my dad because my late father, being posted all over Indonesia, he always instilled in us the need to stay close to our roots. So everywhere we lived, ever since I was little, he always called a dance tutor, either to our place or enrolled us in a dance course, in a dance class. And all of us, me and my sisters, we started training since we were 5. So dancing, I can't remember myself not dancing. I've always been dancing.
When was the first time you saw an Indian dance? And what was your first reaction? What went through your mind?
I have to say I can't remember the exact time when I saw it for the first time, but my father was a lover of Indian old classic movies, and I remember I was really mesmerized by Madhubala and all that.
We all are.
All the dancings in those old black and white films. So I think that what started my fascination in Indian culture. And then I remember since 2008 or 2009, GNICC, I began to get familiar with GNICC Jakarta, and I realized that every year the center would invite performers, dancers from all over in India, and I always made sure to come and watch.
While the world would also like to know something more about your another dimension, that you are also an accomplished poetess. You write. So may I request to render one favorite poem of yours at this stage for our fans, your fans actually.
Okay, so a little background. I'm going to read this particular poem. A little background about it is because the kind of dance that I'm dancing is legong, classical Balinese dance, and there is a piece that's called Legong Samarandana, the dance of Samarandana, and it's from the story of Samaradahana. I don't know what you call it in Indian language, but it's about the time when Samara, the god of love, have to wake up Shiva, who were meditating because heaven was attacked by this demon, but then Samara had to sacrifice his life and his wife's life. So this dance is about that particular story, and I've written a poem inspired by that one. This I called Samaradahana.
Irshad, as we say it in Indian Urdu, please.
The story goes that the reason why Samara succeeded in waking up Shiva is because he did so with love, and yet Shiva burned him alive. Thousands of years of love, still no one truly understands it. Thousands of years of love, still it is such a strange concept. And how it is an eclipse that halts the brightest of day, the sun that appears during a great despair, fragile as a sundered vase, glittering as stars above the skies, ravenous, tentacled with tongues, a veil over dreams unseen, that weaves webs and yarns over bittersweet nothing, a covetous despot, a saboteur, an omen of catastrophe, a quiet seamstress of discord, a sleet of rain in this eternal drought. That's it, sir.
Whoa! Samuel Taylor Coleridge, if I'm not wrong, once said that poetry is an art of listening, not reading. So while you were rendering or reciting, I must say the poem, it was equally tempting and fascinating as the prose. So you do a lot of literary gatherings also. You have a group, and tell us more about that. Apart from dance, how do you engage in literature?
My poetry performance only started probably 10 years ago. It's nothing like my dancing, which I started since I was little. So back in 2010, 2011, I realized that there is this event, annual event at Ubud Writers and Readers Festival called Poetry Slam. It's some sort of a poetry competition. And so I started to gather the guts to go and perform my poem year after year. And then by end of 2014, early 2015, me and some friends who lived in Jakarta, who every year would bump into each other at Ubud, we realized that why don't we do something here in Jakarta? Because we live here. We don't have to wait every October to meet up in Ubud. So that's how we started our poetry. We call it community, but it's actually started as an event organizer. So what we wanted was to facilitate a poetry stage for everyone. We call it open mic. And so we call it unmasked poetry open mic. And it's been 5 years now, and our community of poetry lovers have grown.
Now coming back to India, where have you been so far in India? And what are your experiences? Any one particular memorable experience in India that you would like to share?
The first time I've been to India was in 2010, a decade ago, where I did a solo trip across India to Delhi, Agra, and Rajasthan, Jaipur, Jodhpur, all the way to Jaisalmer. But then I had to wait another 5 years to go back to India. And that was when me and my troupe was invited to perform at the Delhi International Arts Festival. We went to Kulu for 14 hours in a traveler, and then back to Delhi to perform again. It was great. We really loved Kulu. And then,
in short, you witnessed and enjoyed all the seasons of and all the temperatures that India can offer.
we were very lucky. And then in 2018, we were invited again to perform a Legong piece with mask called Legong Topeng Ramasita, and that's for ASEAN Ramayana Festival. That was in Delhi, but we were also performing in Ayodhya, the birthplace of Ram, and then in Lucknow. And that was a really amazing experience. And so the last trip to India that I did was last year in February, and that was for Bharatnatyam Temple Festival in Chidambaram with my fellow dancer Bharatnatyam Guru in Jakarta, Raj, and my duet partner Nyoman Trenawati, who is also my sister. I think that was the first Bharatnatyam mixed with Legong piece that was ever performed there.
A message from you, Putri. What would you like to give as a takeaway to the upcoming, budding, creative individuals?
So for dancers, I would suggest that we should never stop learning, as in don't be satisfied too easily. Like if you think that you've reached a certain point in your dancing skill, that's not enough. Like you always have to keep learning. And because as performers, we have something that we call performance responsibility, and we can't just stop in one point and then think that people will just enjoy it, accept it. We have to keep progressing in our art, in our work. And for writing, poetry is quite different with dancing. I feel that with poetry, it's much freer. Because poetry is what we have inside us. You just have to be sincere, you just have to be able to be vulnerable. But what I can say, like one tip is to, when you write, just write in the language that's most comfortable for you. If you don't feel comfortable writing in English, then don't. Just write it in your mother language, and vice versa.
Now the rapid fire round, which I'm very excited about. Give me 3 names of the films of Shah Rukh Khan.
Oh dear, I don't know.
Any Indonesian would just have it on the...
Oh, okay. Om Shanti Om. Oh my God. Oh dear. I don't know, sir. Only Om Shanti Om. I'm sorry.
Oh, Om Shanti Om is just one. Shah Rukh is famous.
I know.
Shah Rukh is not just famous, he's a cult.
Really bad with action movie title.
2 more to go.
Yeah. I don't know, sir. Sorry.
Are you actually an Indonesian? If you are, you should know minimum. You should have seen minimum 5 films of Shah Rukh.
Okay. New movie titles.
Give me one name of any one film of Madhubala.
Oh dear. Please, I'm really bad with movie titles. Please don't give me movie titles. Please. Oh dear. Oh God, it's in the tip of my tongue.
Now you're caught because you mentioned her as your favorite.
Yes, but not the title. Oh my God.
She's done some amazing eternal work but the most famous one across the globe, as far as her and Dilip Kumar's performance goes, is Mughal Azam.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
And he scored one on that.
Terrible. I'm sorry.
The last one to go. Who's your favorite Indian writer?
Shashi Tharoor.
Okay. Name one of his books.
The Great Indian Novel.
Yay! So 2 out of 3. That's a great score. That's distinction. It was amazing talking to you. So thank you so much talking to us. Thank you so much for being our cultural sutra, and we hope that you will continue to do so.
Everyone who lovers of cultures and of India and Indonesia, please subscribe and like all the YouTube posts of Embassy of India Jakarta and GNICC JKT.
Terima kasih banyak. Thank you.